I mentioned last night, I was doing show prep last night, usual routine, and I ran across this, I don't actually know what it's called, the latest papal offering statement from Pope Francis. Now, up until this, I'm not Catholic. Up until this, I have to tell you, I was admiring the man. I thought he was going a little overboard on the common man touch. And I thought there might have been a little bit of PR involved there. But nevertheless, I was willing to cut him some slack. I mean, if he wants to portray himself as still from the streets of where he came from and is not anything special, not aristocratic, if he wants to eschew the physical trappings of the Vatican, okay, cool, fine. But this that I came across last night, I mean, it totally befuddled me. If it weren't for capitalism, I don't know where the Catholic Church would be. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm not Catholic. I admire it profoundly, and I've been tempted a number of times to delve deeper into it. But the Pope here has now gone beyond Catholicism here, and this is pure political. And I want to share with you some of this stuff. Pope Francis attacked unfettered capitalism as a new tyranny. He beseeched global leaders to fight poverty and growing inequality in a document on Tuesday setting out a platform for his papacy and calling for a renewal of the Catholic Church. In it, Pope Francis went further than previous comments, criticizing the global economic system, attacking the idolatry of money. I got to be very careful. I have been numerous times to the Vatican. It wouldn't exist without tons of money. But regardless what this is, somebody has either written this for him or gotten to him. This is just pure Marxism coming out of the mouth of the Pope. There's no such unfettered capitalism. That doesn't exist anywhere. Unfettered capitalism is a liberal socialist phrase to describe the United States. Unfettered, unregulated. Folks, in recent weeks, I have endeavored to get you to understand, or try to make you understand, how it is that people like modern age Democrats look at small business and business at large. They do not, in the terms of small business, understand how fragile it is. Their view of business is that people who own them or run them cheat their customers, abuse their employees, hoard all the money, and they have tons of it. And they take it and keep it for themselves. They deny their employers or their employees a livable wage. They deny them health care. They deny them benefits. They produce products that kill and maim and sicken. Or they produce products that destroy the planet, destroy the environment, or what have you. I mean, it's a litany. And this is their view. And it is why they claim that they must take it over and control it, because it's inherently unfair that a select few capitalists rip everybody off, rip off their employees, rip off their customers, and that's how you have unequal incomes and this vast gap between wealth and poverty. And it's all because of capitalism. And so they claim that as socialists or reformers or progressives, that they are fair and compassionate, and they will make that gap between the wealthy and the poor narrower, and they will make life more equitable, and they will engage in equality of outcomes and so forth. And wherever they've tried, they've failed. Wherever socialists have gained power, they have done nothing but spread poverty. They cannot and do not produce wealth. They do not understand it. All they can do is destroy it. They are not compassionate, they coerce. And to hear the Pope regurgitating this stuff, I was profoundly disappointed. The idolatry of money, urging politicians to attack the structural causes of inequality and strive to provide work, health care, and education to all citizens. What has been happening in this country the past 5 years? Exactly what this man claims to want. We have a president who has attacked the structural causes of inequality. And what's he done? He's raised taxes on the producers and the achievers for the express purpose of redistributing it. All he's done is create massive debt. He has destroyed jobs. There are 91.5 million Americans not working in America today. 91.5 million not working. All the while, the president 19 or 20 times says that he's doing nothing but focusing on creating jobs. But he can't. No government can create jobs. Not in the private sector. All they can do is hamper job creation. Now, if government wants to deregulate and get out of the way, then job creation will take place. What is capitalism? The value of anything is established in the private sector. That's where the value of money is established. That's where the value of work is established. The value of whatever it is you want to buy or trade, the private sector, capitalism, is where that value is established, not by government proclaiming it. The Pope also called on rich people to share their wealth. We were just talking about the charitable donations and contributions that exist in this country, and they are profound. The United States is near the top of the list in the world of charitable countries. But even with all the charity, and it is tremendous, it cannot compete with capitalism in elevating people out of poverty. There is nothing the world has ever devised that has elevated more people out of poverty than capitalism. I mean, look at the United States. How can you deny, how can anybody objectively analyzing and looking deny the United States became a superpower? In less than 250 years, the United States became a military, economic superpower devoted to the concepts of freedom here and everywhere else around the world. We were the defenders of freedom, our own and others. In less than 250 years, a nation of, for the most part, fewer than 300 million people produced an economy that created the highest standard of living the world has ever known, fed the world, produced so much food, more than we ever needed ourselves. We were able to feed the world. And after doing all of that, we were able to provide disaster relief for anywhere else in the world that it occurred where it was accepted. There's been nothing like the United States ever